Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of Shifter's Cove, and I have a special guest today. Why don't you introduce yourself to the people?
Hi, my name is Gregory Venvonis. I am the author of The Core Essentials of Reality Shifting. And I'm so thankful to you, Galaxon, for letting me be on your show and to discuss reality shifting and my experiences with it and anything else you'd like to ask.
Yeah, guys, if you don't know, yeah, like he said, he's an author. I bought his book off of Etsy, and you're still like a shifting kind of newbie. You want to learn more. I would totally suggest to get. I will plug this in the description, but I would totally suggest to get this book because it has every single thing you need to know when getting started with shifting. It has methods, his own experiences with it. I don't want to spoil anything else. Get the book. Make sure you get it. It'll make you a shifting pro by the time you're done reading it. Anyways, getting into you, Gregory. So kind of like, so just tell me like when you, I know you said like shifting has been a thing that you've known or at least been aware of in some sort of way back in your past. Can you tell the viewers like how did you kind of enter the realm of like shifting or like dimension hopping, etc.
Yeah, so my story begins about 6.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually was a little bit of a traumatic spiritual awakening type of experience. And I essentially had accidentally taken this substance, I'll just put it that way,
Mm-hmm.
and it essentially led me to have this realization that I'd essentially had passed away in my old reality.
Mm-hmm.
And in this reality, it was basically identical to the one that I would be shifting to, which is this current one. So it essentially, me shifting not on purpose, but accidentally, it started all the way back then with this experience. And I discuss this in my book. If you've ever been into two apartments or two rooms that are identical in every single way,
Yeah.
and if you close your eyes and you try to understand or try to feel into its vibe, and you can tell the difference between each one, even though they are the same, but you can tell there's a difference. And that's kind of how I knew that I actually shifted to an identical reality from this experience.
Mm.
Now, I had some other experiences that where I actually shifted on purpose, and this was about a year later, and we can kind of go over that if you'd like.
Yes, for
But
sure.
yes, that was my first one. It was this kind of spiritual awakening, and I took this substance by accident, and
Mm.
yeah, it was very traumatic.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that it was traumatic instead of like how a lot of people want their first time to be. But yeah, I think like a lot of the times like people shift indirectly without knowing to a reality very similar to us through their choices, and every single choice leads to a different timeline. And I think like while shifting, like the shifting that a lot of people refer to these days is like a completely different universe hopping type of experience. You got to remember everybody that shifting is just happening here every single day, every single second, as we talk, as we drink, or as we eat. It happens in this reality too. It just sends us to a similar reality, just like this one. But yeah, when you did your second shift or the one that you intended to, how did that go? Was that like after the shifting community kind of blew up how it was now, or was it still like a little bit before that?
No, so this was actually back in 2017,
Hmm.
and I'm not sure if your viewers are aware, but there is this concept called dimensional jumping, and
Hmm.
if you look up on Reddit, there's a subreddit called dimensional jumping, and this is kind of what shifting was kind of known as back then.
Yeah.
And I had done a little bit of research just to kind of see if anyone else had experienced what I had experienced,
Hmm.
and that's how I kind of came across this subreddit. So, in terms of shifting intentionally for my first time, this was actually, like I was saying, in 2017, and I had decided to use some techniques I used for manifestation in the past,
Hmm.
and also what I was looking into on this subreddit. And just prior to this, I had broken up with an ex girlfriend of mine. I really was just in love with her. I couldn't really get her off my mind. It was kind of crazy because it
R-
had been like almost a year
right. Right.
since we had split, and I was still kind of thinking about it to kind of
Hmm.
give you an idea.
Right.
And so there was this afternoon, sometime in 2017. I want to say it was June, and I got the idea to actually intend to shift.
Mhm.
And so I went to my bedroom and I laid down. I basically did the shifting method, which is called the clone back method in my book. But
Mhm.
I didn't know anything about methods or anything back then,
Right.
nor did I have name.
Right.
this
Yeah.
but this is what would become the clone back method.
Yeah.
So what I did is I essentially visualized. It's the best way to explain it. I closed my eyes. I took deep breaths, and I visualized myself there in real time, being with my ex,
Mhm.
in literally in my apartment at the time, laying down with her in my bed, not doing anything extracurricular,
Right.
just laying down with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just laying there with her.
Right.
I just wanted to be with her, and to my surprise, in doing it, I actually was able to shift for about a minute or so. It
Mhm.
felt so real, in fact, that I actually had stopped. And the best way I can describe it, it's like I pulled myself back to um, to my current reality. I wasn't calling it that at the time, but my
Mhm.
current reality. And I pulled myself back to it because I was, in a way, frightened because it actually worked.
Yeah.
Like what I did, I just the whole visualizing, the deep breathing, just letting go,
Yeah.
going into the overall vibe of your DR. Again, I wasn't calling it these things at the time because this was
Yeah.
way
Way
before things
before.
blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of my first time, and after that, I took a while before I shifted again because I was kind of freaked out, and I
Yeah.
felt like because it's real,
Mhm.
what if I get stuck in an undesirable DR, or what happens to the people in my current reality that I was in? These are all questions I didn't know at the time, and because of that, I just didn't shift for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah. That's
So I
completely
basically got
reasonable.
answers.
Yeah, that is completely reasonable. I totally understand. And what I really found interesting is like how you put manifestation and the law of attraction. I think like that's a big factor in shifting. Like when you and it's not like you were. I think some people like I'm definitely aware. So I'm all over the place, but I'm aware of the subreddit you talked about dimension jumping is very interesting. Like if y'all don't know, like you said, this was kind of like what people were the closest thing people referred to reality shifting before it blew up, and
Yeah,
I notice like when you visualize and you put emotions on, you're visualizing and breathing. That's when the most happens to you. That's when you manifest. But and if you're listening to this tonight, anybody's listening, try to visualize your DR with your emotions, feelings, and I think you will be surprised what can potentially happen. And I just want to say, yeah, it's just it's definitely scary when you think about it. For me, it's like I think one thing that might be holding me back is like I feel like if I leave, I might never want to come back. You know, because it's like once
yeah,
you like
I
get
feel
to
that.
experience everything you want to, why would you want to come back? But in a way, it's like I love everything here too. So it's a rough dilemma when it comes to shifting. For some people know they want to come back and forth, but I'm scared too. You know, I always wonder about the people here as well. But yeah, so when you heard about the new wave of the shifters, the TikTokers, you know, that whole era of like 2 years ago, how did you like think about it? It was like, oh God, so it's all real. Like, you already knew it was real. Like, oh my God, everybody else is also kind of experiencing what I experienced before all
Yeah.
this. Yeah, how was that seeing that come all this come out?
Frankly, I was excited because I had kept a lot of these experiences I had with shifting basically to myself and a very small amount of people that I knew were kind of open-minded that are in my personal life, like my dad and others.
Mm-hmm.
And I was excited because it's like I was seeing that other people, are, like you were saying, are having this experience too, and other experiences, like in terms of going to fictional-based DRs and other kinds of just creative realities. It was really amazing to see, and one of the reasons it was exciting was just to see just the expansion of consciousness and to see what's possible, and just seeing how other people were tapping into their just consciousness and seeing what is possible to experience,
Oh yeah.
and just simply put, that's what was really exciting, and seeing that starting to spread more and more
Mm-hmm.
starting in 2020. I know because of the stay-at-home stuff going on in 2020, people
Yeah.
had a lot more time to kind of
Mhm.
reflect and spend more time with themselves and really feel that power within that they haven't all along. And because of that, it helped them to, some people were shifted unintentionally. I
Mhm.
think a lot of people shifted intentionally too, or even did small shifts, like mini shifts.
Yeah. Yeah, for
But
sure.
just starting somewhere is great.
Yeah.
And yeah, is that when you did you find out about it in
Yeah, I
2020
sure
or
did. I sure did. I found out about it in 2020. Like when I was like, I never really used TikTok before, but I saw on YouTube like recommendation about people the term shifting to Hogwarts.
yeah,
Like, what is this? What do you mean shifting to Harry Potter? And I just saw this stuff like, y'all must be crazy. But honestly, when I thought about it, I was like, I didn't believe in the law. I didn't know about the law of attraction until I learned how to use it, and I believed in it. I never astral projected, but I definitely believe in it. So I think it's one of those things, and especially with a lot of my small experiences with shifting, I definitely started to believe in it, and believe in these people. It was definitely a kind of something you have to get used to at first, seeing it like it's like yeah, I definitely was exposed to it in 2020. Um, so how do you feel like about kind of like the anti-shifters, like the people. I mean, everybody's right has a right to their opinion, but the people who kind of find people who want to shift or is trying to shift like kooks or crazies. In your opinion, like how do you feel about it?
so how do I feel about just anti-shifters? You're
Pretty
saying,
much,
just
yeah,
in general.
yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, there's different reasons people are going to be anti-shifters. I mean, if someone that's, a shifter, I would say don't let it bother you. Just remember that it's real. Um, Remember your own experiences and the experiences of credible people that have had it. And I found that a lot of anti-shifters, they just don't want it to be real, or it doesn't fit in their worldview, or they don't think it fits in their worldview. And
yeah,
so therefore they just automatically reject it, and it's
yeah,
a shame. And then other people reject it because they think it's lucid dreaming, or they think it's regular dreaming, or they think
yeah.
it's
They just
um,
kind of like dismiss it.
hallucinating.
Yeah,
Exactly. And there's just a lot of misconceptions, and so people are going to knee jerk just resist it. And so I think a lot of the anti shifters will come around in time, and I always invite them to try some of the techniques, not just in my book, but even other people that are credible, and try it for themselves. Personal experience, I found, is oftentimes the greatest remedy to someone who is just resistant or not wanting to accept the truth like this. And what I've found is like you have so many people, including myself
hmm,
and many others, who have had different experiences, and it's like you're gonna tell me that all of us are just trolling, or all of
yes,
us are just
lying,
all of us are
delusional.
just exactly are in a clique that are just we're all TikTok kids or Zoomers that are just trolling.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
yeah, it's crazy. Like I know, like some people think like we're some sort of cult or we practice like Satanism and shit like that. But it's just like no,
Yeah,
no,
it's not.
it's not. Literally, all well, I'm assuming most of us just sit there, affirm, visualize, lay down. That's it. We're not trying to summon nothing, doing any crazy stuff like how they make it seem like we're not staring at walls, deluding ourselves. It, I just always find the anti-shifter so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna say the funny thing is that you know um, shifting actually is more of a neutral thing. I think of it like a pencil.
Mhm.
You can use a pencil to write a love letter. You can use a pencil to tell someone off and
Yeah.
write and like just write a note and say something. You can use a pencil to create a business plan or to do homework or whatever the case is.
Mhm.
Basically, it's neutral. It's what you make of it. And then the other thing is regarding Satanism and all that. I have found that shifting can actually be a great thing to, like, let's say if you're a religious person or you believe in God,
Mhm.
it's something that can help you with that because, for example, you can shift to a reality in which more people share your religion, or
Yeah.
you can shift where you have a stronger faith within God, or you're around more people that believe as you do.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. And like you said, you're not summoning any demons or anything bad. I mean, yeah, that's just all misconceptions, or just people that don't understand, or people that assume, again, anything that's out of their worldview is bad, or should be resisted.
Yeah.
And I think, like I was saying, over time, the trajectory is going to shift on shifting. It's
Mm.
kind of like lucid dreaming. A lot of people with that thought that was fake,
Yeah.
or thought that was something that wasn't real, and that's becoming more and more, accepted
Yeah,
or
for sure.
understood to be true.
Yeah, I think lucid dreaming is definitely more not mainstream, but definitely like generally accepted to be like an actual thing, even if people haven't tried it before. But yeah. Um, I don't want to hold you for too much longer. I might try to ask you two more questions if possible.
Sure.
But what do you want your future with shifting to be? You know, I know some people want to just visit endless shifting DRs to like fictional worlds, etc., or shifting to be fame or so a celebrity. But what do you really want to get out of shifting yourself?
So right now, my intention is to shift into a universe or world, reality, however you want to put it,
Mhm.
where it's full of love, people are thriving, people are living their truest purposes,
Mhm.
myself included. So it's kind of a harmony in that way. And so you can think of it like I'm essentially gradual shifting, because I see myself doing that over time and not just, laterally in one go.
Mhm.
But that's kind of my target in terms of shifting. And as far as shifting as a skill, my intention is to continue growing that skill like any other skill, and to be essentially a master at it.
Right.
Because I really can't think of any more exciting skill to have, to be able to experience realities that, go beyond what you thought was possible, that, you know, can get you can shift it to learn, or to be with someone like a comfort
Mhm.
character.
Yeah.
You can do basically whatever you'd love to do, and I just can't think of anything more exciting than that.
Yes, for sure. That's what keeps me going. I mean, literally, earlier, Gregory. Like, I had a dream about one of the DRs that you did a reading for me. It was so exciting because I wasn't thinking about shifting at all, but it was just so nice to like. Because it's funny when I try to dream about my DRs, I never do, but when I don't, I do. It was so exciting. It's just like it keeps me going in a way. Yeah, it was really nice. And my last question is, if you wanted to just say anything to the viewers, because there's not a lot of people who's probably gonna be listening to this, but if you can give anybody any advice or plug in anything or just mention anything you want to them about shifting or anything in general, what would you tell them?
I would say keep being persistent, and understand that you have the power, you have the inherent power, the inherent ability to experience what you prefer, and that you are worthy of experiencing that, and to not let anyone tell you otherwise. And that's really my simple message, is that it's something that you deserve. It's something that you can do if you just persist, if you just do it the right way. And yeah, that's really just simply put. And just remember that, and just, even if you have to tell yourself that every day, every moment, if you encounter an anti-shifter that's saying that you're delusional, or you have a mental issue or something like that, it's just, that's their worldview, and they haven't experienced it, and so they just don't know. But don't let that get you down. Instead, just remember your power, remember your ability, remember, like, I think of it as a birthright, being able to shift.
Hmm. Yeah.
And just, yes, just understand that that is something, it's like a gift that you have.
Yes.
It's something that no one can take from you, and it's wonderful.
For
That's
sure.
all I have to say about, in terms of that. I think it's just great.
Yeah, I mean, and finishing up, I gotta agree. I mean, we're all we're shifting this lifetime. We're lucky, I think we're lucky because there're gonna be some people who will never be aware of it, and
Yeah.
they'll still have a good life here. I mean, definitely if possible. But we all have this knowledge and we can use it to experience unlimited opportunities, and that's just really great. So just like you said, consistency is key, and you can get whatever you want if you stay consistent. And I just want to say again, thank you, Gregory, and I want to plug in your book. So anybody who's listening, I will suggest this book 100%. It really kind of concreted a lot of my shifting beliefs and like really kind of elaborated on things I wanted to know more about. It has every single thing you need. I'll leave his book in the description. I'll leave his Amazon in the description too, because you also write some novels too, right?
Yeah, I have some other fiction series. And I'm not saying this part because it's my book. I really believe the following. My series is called Fluxonas,
Mhm.
Fluxonas. It's a word I invented. I actually also invent words. That's a
Mhm.
side note.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I believe this series to be potentially one of the best series, once it's fully done,
Mhm.
one of the best series to ever come out in terms of the sci-fi and fantasy space. And I just invite anyone to take a look at that too if you have interest in either sci-fi or paranormal or fantasy.
Yeah. So thank you again, Gregory. Thank you for listeners, and appreciate you listening. If you have any questions or you want to get in contact with me or Gregory, I'll leave his Etsy and his Amazon down below, and you can always email me or text me or whatever. Thank you again for listening, and y'all have a great night and good luck with shifting.